I grew up in a small town in Kentucky, the kind of place where people still leave their doors unlocked and everyone knows everyone. But on the edge of that quiet little town stood something that nobody wanted to talk about. An old middle school, abandoned for nearly 20 years. It was called Ridgeway Middle, and every kid in town knew the rumors. That a teacher had gone missing there. That a janitor hanged himself in the boiler room. That the lights sometimes flickered at night, even though the power had been cut off years ago. Most people avoided that place entirely. But not us. There were 4 of us that summer, me, my best friend Derek, his cousin Ryan, and Derek's girlfriend, Kayla. We were bored, restless, and stupidly curious. So one night, we decided to finally explore Ridgeway Middle. It was almost midnight when we parked by the back fence. The moonlight barely reached the cracked pavement, and weeds had eaten half the basketball court. The building loomed over us, 3 stories of broken windows and shadow. We climbed through a gap in the fence, flashlights shaking in our hands. As soon as we stepped through the main doors, a rush of cold air hit us, like stepping into a freezer. The hallways were littered with old desks, torn posters, and dusty lockers. Every sound, every step, echoed forever. Derek laughed nervously. "Man, this place smells like death." Kayla smacked his arm. "Don't say that. You'll jinx it." But he already had. We followed the main hall toward the gym. That's when I noticed something odd on the wall. Red paint. It started as little streaks, but as we went deeper, the streaks became symbols. Circles, triangles, and something that looked like a twisted star. Kayla pointed at one of them and said quietly, "That's a pentagram, right?" Ryan bent closer. "Yeah, but look, it's still wet." He touched it before I could stop him. The paint smeared across his finger, dark, sticky, almost brown. It wasn't paint. I could see his expression change instantly. He wiped it on his jeans and muttered, "Let's just go." But Derek wanted to keep filming. He brought a GoPro and kept whispering, "This is gonna get so many views." We pushed open the door to one of the old classrooms. Dust danced in the flashlight beams. Rows of desks still stood there, frozen in time. Textbooks sat open like the students had just walked out mid-lesson. But what really froze me was the chalkboard. Someone had written, "I should have cut you when I had the chance." The letters were carved deep into the green surface, not written, carved, like with a knife. Kayla whispered, "Who would write that?" And then, knock. Knock. 2 slow knocks came from the hallway behind us. We turned instantly, flashlights shaking. No one was there. Ryan called out, "Hello?" Nothing. Then, from farther down the hall, we heard a voice, a man's voice, low, hoarse, and close. "You shouldn't be here." That's when Derek's GoPro started glitching. The red light blinked erratically, and the audio picked up strange static, like whispering through the speakers. He tapped it, cursing, but it kept warping. We ran back toward the exit, but instead of the main doors, we turned the wrong way and ended up at a metal stairwell leading down. The sign beside it read Boiler Room. Kayla refused to go. But Derek, still holding the camera, said, "Just a quick look, come on. We're already here." I didn't want to, every instinct screamed to leave, but we followed. The steps creaked under our feet as we descended into the dark. The air grew heavy, damp, and suffocating. At the bottom was a large room, half flooded, with rusted pipes and mold-covered walls. And on one of those walls was another pentagram. This one was massive, drawn in red across the concrete, candles melted at each point. But the strangest thing was the center. A school chair sat in the middle of the symbol. And tied to it was a mannequin wearing a teacher's uniform. Its head was missing. Suddenly, every light in the hallway above flickered on, one after another. Click, 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 echoing through the building. Then footsteps. Slow, heavy footsteps moving above us. Kayla started crying. "Someone's up there, someone's up there." Derek whispered, "Hide." We ducked behind an old boiler as the footsteps came down the stairs, deliberate, dragging, like someone pulling a limp foot behind them. From the shadows, I saw a figure step into view. Tall, wearing what looked like a black cloak that trailed across the wet floor. Its head tilted like it was listening. We didn't breathe. And then, the thing spoke, in the same voice we'd heard earlier. "You shouldn't be here." Derek's GoPro beeped once, a tiny sound, and the figure snapped its head toward us. Then it ran. We bolted up the stairs, flashlights swinging wildly. Ryan tripped halfway, screaming for help. I grabbed his arm and pulled him up, his shoe left behind, sinking into the water. When we burst through the main doors, the night air hit us like salvation. We didn't stop running until we reached the car. When Derek finally looked back at the building, the lights in the windows were flashing. One by one, as if something was pacing the halls. We never told anyone what we saw. But the next day, Derek uploaded the footage from his GoPro. Only, there was nothing on it. The file was corrupted, except for one short clip. It was a frame of that basement. And in it, the mannequin wasn't there anymore. Instead, a blurry figure stood in the middle of the pentagram, staring directly into the camera. No face. Just shadow. And 1 second before the video cut off, the same voice whispered, "Clear this time. I should have cut you when I had the chance." That night, Derek texted me, "Dude, someone knocked on my window." I told him to stop joking. But the next morning, his mom called me. They found his window shattered from the outside. He was gone. They said he must have run away. But every night after that, around 3 a.m., I started hearing it too. That same voice, whispering outside my window. "You shouldn't be here. If you ever pass through Ridgeway and see the old middle school on the hill, don't go inside. Some places aren't abandoned. They're waiting."